Hi there, and welcome to Group D3's Critical Analysis Screencast. Today I'll give a short explanation of our project and give examples of various games which are related to our task, which we can both draw on for inspiration and are good examples of, in this case, the role-playing game genre for internet-based flash games. In recent times, the amount of role-playing games which use a non-linear storyline structure in order to give the players a more in-game feeling has increased dramatically. A few examples include the Megami series, Fire Emblem, Metal Max, Saga, Ogre, Sound Novels, The Elder Scrolls and Star Ocean, as well as the very popular Mass Effect series and the Grand Theft Auto series. Here is an example of a decision that the player has to take that affects the consequences of the game. As in the game you are amongst other things a hired gun. You are given the task of assassinating a man called Dwayne, who was once a kingpin of the drug gang. The man who assigns you this is Playboy X, who was once Dwayne's apprentice but now is the master of the gang. Playboy X hates Dwayne for his old methods of dealing and refusal of help, and Dwayne hates Playboy X for treating him badly after he was the one that set up the gang. If you kill Playboy X, you will get his mansion as your new safe house in the game. Also, Dwayne will now be your friend and you can call him in case you need his gang members as backup in other missions. If you kill Dwayne, you'll get $25,000, however, Playboy X will not be your friend anymore. Another example of an open world game that lets the player choose different actions which will directly affect the outcome of both the world and story is the multi-platformer RPG Fallout 3. Within the first hour or so of playing the game, players are struck with the choice of destroying or saving a settlement by detonating a nuclear bomb that rests within it. Saving the settlements benefits the player from NPCs in the settlement, but at the opposite end of the spectrum, where you destroy it, you gain benefits elsewhere. However, if you go back to that area, you'll be damaged to radiation. This is a direct impact on the game environment. For our next example, we will be looking at the 3D platformer game released on the PlayStation 2, Ratchet & Clank. We will be looking at how the game's story progresses and evokes emotion in the character we are playing as, which in turn makes the game more enjoyable to play and makes the player want to progress through the game. These will be elements that we would like to include in our own game idea. Also, it will give us ideas of how to evoke emotion in the player, which is important because we are trying to teach them about the environment. After our protagonists of the game have just met, we are given the main storyline and meet the antagonist of the game. This cutscene is important to the game because it builds the foundations of where the game is going to go, but it's not enough to spark emotion in the characters, which in turn could make the game a bit tedious. However, this is the last of the 5 opening cutscenes, and the player will be eager to play by now. This next cutscene comes a bit later in the game, after the player has received a few gadgets and weapons that will be needed on this next world.
My sources tell me you're behind schedule. You must prepare this planet to be harvested for our new world.
Yes, sir. As you can see, everything is moving along as planned.
As you can see, a few funny animations of enemies accidentally killing each other are included, as the target audience of the game is for children around the ages of 8 and above. It's a similar age range we're aiming our game for, so stuff like that could give us a lot of ideas to add into our game. As you can see, our protagonists are getting more caught up within the plot and more emotionally invested. This could make the player also more invested in the game, in a way that they are uncovering the plot of the game and are aiming for a sense of achievement at the end after they have foiled the antagonist's plans. In these next few cutscenes, Ratchet and Clank meet the character they have been searching for the entire game up to this point, Captain Quark.
Captain Quark?
What's that?
It's Ratchet and Clank, Captain. You know, from the
Oh, yes, I know who you are.
You do?
Yes, and thank the galaxy you found me.
Huh?
There's an awful plot being hatched to destroy our planets.
Ratchet, he knows.
Great. Does that mean we can go hoverboarding now?
My friends, we're all in grave danger, and I believe that together we can put a stop to this madness.
After the player has done the level Captain Quark has told you to do, it becomes clear that he has been planning to betray Ratchet and Clank. This betrayal in the game will give the player more motivation to continue to beat the newly discovered enemy. Something like a betrayal in our game could make it more fun and will make the player want to progress.
Although there is one problem with your hypothesis, I'm not going to kill you.
You're not?
No, he is.
Finally, we shall look at an example of a flash RPG game called Monster's Den. This is a tactical turn-based RPG game. in which you control a team of deadly warriors to destroy the evil creatures that live in the various dungeons that you are put in. To begin with, the game gives you choices of who you want to be in your team. Each team member has a backstory and has a specialisation in a certain field, such as warrior, healer, mage, and rogue. This adds a level of strategy to the game, as different enemies may have different weak points that can be exploited by picking a character that can do the most damage. This shows the interface of the game. As you can see, it has a bird's eye view so that the playing field can be seen easily. The red swords signify a battle that needs to be won. The most important information is displayed clearly and effectively, such as characters' health in red and armour in blue, and secondary information such as menu options, health and statistics are smaller and are displayed in the corner of the screen. This screenshot shows the combat system of the game. It's relatively simple and is similar to other combat systems in games such as the Pokemon series. To attack an enemy, the player simply has to select which character they want to use, then select the enemy to attack with that player. Such a system could be put into our game as a possible minigame to defeat enemies who are destroying the environment. When all enemies are defeated, the player is rewarded with a loot that aids the player in combat, with things of monetary value or with health. This ensures that the player will want to continue to defeat enemies in order to gain more money and to develop their characters. In conclusion, the various games that our group have talked about here shall all be helpful in making our game as attractive as possible, and most importantly will make the player remember the message that will be given to them about the environment. And if this can be done without them even knowing, we will have succeeded to an even greater extent. Thanks for watching D3's Critical Analysis Screencast.